Welcome back, you little Wi-Fi warriors. Let's get it cracking.
I really believe Portlock is evil.
There's a lot of strange stuff happening down there.
It was a pretty large community.
It was a booming town.
It had a school and a post office.
It probably would have been a city, you know, if it would have kept thriving.
But then people started to disappear. Over a span of 2 years, over 30 people were found dead or missing. The elders evacuated the town.
Went from 100 to a 0 overnight. Everybody left. My mom, and she lived there as a child, said the last person out of there, he took a glass of his holy water, he drank it, got on a boat, said that's enough, I'm going.
Port Chatham, Portlock, for a whole civil community to up and disperse and just leave the homes. Something obviously had to be going on. It's not like the folklore is it was up and gone overnight, but it wasn't overnight, it was gradual. Is what I understand, it was like gradual, but in the grand scheme of things it was still a short period of time for everyone to just up and leave their homes like that. I've seen reports of it on videos where there's machinery that men can't lift, that no man can lift. Big machinery, it shows videos of it, it's like heavy machinery and it's just launched and just stuck in the mud. No one's lifting that, so much strong to obviously lift it. And there's other weird things that go on around there, so there's quite a few documentaries out there. If you haven't, I'd go and have a look at it. Portlock, Port Chatham, it's worth a go.
So I gotta ask, if you don't believe in space, what do you think about Elon Musk and his company SpaceX? SpaceX? More like... But seriously guys, do you really think this guy is for free speech running around the Met Gala in this jacket? What does that say? Novus Ordo Seclorum. And where have we seen that? And what does that mean? New World Order or New World Age? But if you think that was just a coincidence, I got way more stuff to show you that, well, this guy is not the most honest guy. Like, does anyone else remember that time we caught a rat running around on the outside of his rocket?
Timer that's going to continue to burn until 8 minutes and 44 seconds into flight. So a little over 2 minutes from now, we'll hear the call out Seco. It'll then be a little under.
Did you guys catch it? Here, watch it again, but slowed down and zoomed in. Or remember that time he said he sent his electric car out to orbit Earth, but there was a little glitch. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. You remember those words, Elon? But was he trying to tell us something here? Now I'm not saying Elon. SpaceX is putting on a complete show. They do have some real rockets. And of course, all this was for entertainment purposes only. This is strictly my opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Don't forget to like, follow me, and share this. And like always, God bless.
Right, tricky one, because Elon does seem to do a lot of good, but I feel like he's got an ulterior motive there somewhere, because he's still a billionaire. You can't fully trust him. He's just like living out his Bruce Wayne Batman fantasies, like the billionaire, and he just thinks there's something random to do and I'm gonna do it. But I've seen it before where he's had his little rear view mirror, and in one frame it's there, and the next frame, on the next angle it's gone. Then you've got the rats or whatever running around on his spaceship. It's just, I won't fully trust him. It's somewhat dodgy, I think, because it's too fast. it's too fast. He's done it too fast. He's like, I think he's putting it out there. I think he could do it, but I don't think he's done it just yet. I think eventually he may be able to get lower Earth orbit, and that's about it. He ain't going to space, Mars.
For 26 years I've been the director of the National UFO Reporting Center, and that's what I do. I'm a UFO investigator.
You brought up the elk case that you investigated in Washington.
I was actually at a conference when the call came in. He told a story about 14 or 15 people, I think it was, who were out planting trees on a hillside on a big piece of property owned by a commercial logging company. They had seen an object approach from the east, and it flew towards a herd of elk that these guys had been watching all morning long as they worked on a hillside. All the elk bolted to the northeast to heavy cover, except for one hapless elk. And the object lifted the elk off the ground, and it started moving slowly in the direction in which that herd of elk had gone. And it came to a large tree, an evergreen tree, and bumped into it, interestingly, and backed away from the tree, and then suddenly shot to the north and went over the nearest ridge to the north.
Were any of them concerned that, hey, maybe one of these things should come over and take me?
Yeah, they did. Some weren't quite sure if they wanted to go back to the woods and work again.
Listening to his voice, and I could really see the actual event that's happening to him as he's describing it. And he was shook up about it.
Is he emotional?
From what I recall, he had a hard time sleeping for several days after he saw that. His words were whether it was something prehistoric or it was something extraterrestrial.
For the last 20...
Missing 411, David Glad is... Honestly, if you haven't as well, go check his YouTube out. The Canam Project. C-A-N-A-M. Honestly, the things he does is, and he doesn't have to do it, he does it for these families to get like a bit of peace, and he tries to understand what's going on, like an ex-copper or something. He does he overlaps the maps from the cave systems to the missing people, and they just align pretty much bang on. Like the map of America and all these Yellowstone and all these, it's just like something dodgy going on. And if you haven't, go and see the series, the Missing 411 series, the UFO Connection and the Hunted and the other one. Just the Missing 411, honestly, what a good watch here. Unbelievable. And like I said, the Canam Project, C-A-N-A-M, on YouTube, belting, honestly.
Here, juvenile Bigfoot trail cam footage.
I know what you're thinking. Turf out of Tarzan. Nah, what is it? It's so weird that. It's weird. The thing is, there's lots of Bigfoot reports, whether you believe it or not, but there's never, there's not a lot of juvenile ones. I've heard a lot because I watch it all the time, but there's not that many out there. So it's interesting.
Antarctica. It's official. There's nothing down there. You can clearly see this water is empty, and hence the rest of the continent must be as well. Like, is that Nah, there's no way. It's definitely just a case of pareidolia. You know, the human tendency to see faces in everyday things. Despite dozens of retired Navy officers who were stationed in Antarctica coming out and exposing what they really saw down there. Because of course, who could forget about this pyramid-shaped mound under the snow, cut with incredible precision and perfectly aligned with northeast-southwest. But oh, it's just a mountain for sure. There's a lot more like this, so I guess it's just a common natural rock formation down there. Even aerial shots irrefutably prove they're just normal mountain ranges. How dare we even suggest that there might be something more going on in Antarctica? Here we have a satellite photo of some sort of disk that appears to have crashed and 4 other large objects surrounding it. Some claim it's a UFO crash site surrounded by some sort of surveillance units, but it's clearly just a, a near perfect triangle, also with a crash landed appearance with an oddly familiar shape. Nah, there's no way. Yet another disc shape up in the Antarctic mountains, and yeah, rocks, definitely, 100%. Interesting that the 1946 Operation High Jump in Antarctica was rumored to have ended early due to flying disc-shaped crafts scaring the Navy out of the area. 14 years later, the Antarctic Treaty is signed, heavily restricting exploration of the continent. This strange, long shape under the snow, another seemingly crash-landy looking site in an oddly similar shape as Oumuamua, a rumored derelict spacecraft that passed through our solar system in 2017 and was later dismissed as just being an asteroid, despite it having almost no characteristics of an asteroid, but I'll cover that another time. To be fair, this one may have just been a boulder that rolled down a nearby cliff. Hey, we just debunked that bit. But some of these other satellite finds are a little less explainable. Like, why are there over 60 monolithic objects lined up deep in the snow in a place that has allegedly never hosted intelligent life? Even more structures in the snow up to 70 feet tall that almost resemble buildings of sorts. And another, even more interesting, triangular shaped structure nearby with a similar height. And of course, the holes. Oh, the holes. Reports of holes everywhere across the South Pole. Like in 2007, Google Earth revealed a 250-foot wide hole with what looks like stairs leading into it. A few months later, it disappears from satellite view. Then in 2019, it reappears but looks totally botched and in lower quality than the image from 10 years ago. But my friends, as we know, that's barely even the tip of the tip. There have been just countless reports of holes in Antarctica heading deep beneath the surface. There's the story in Richard Byrd's diary of the glimmering underground city he flew into in 1946 that I covered in a previous video. Then a retired Navy SEAL who goes by the name Brian spoke out about a mission he went on in Antarctica in the 1980s. While flying over a no-fly zone, he saw a 300-foot wide hole in the ice with tracks around the area leading into the hole. When he got back to his station, an officer and 2 men in suits interrogated him about the no-fly zone violation. The men in suits tell him to never talk about that hole again and to never go back. A few months later, he's told to fly scientists to the Dome, which was a known research station back then. There, he overheard people talking about the hole, saying they're going there to meet visitors.
It seemed to me they were talking about like an extraterrestrial or an alien, because they didn't refer to them as a person, it was a visitor.
The rumors claim these holes were entrances to underground bases where humans and these visitors cooperated on highly classified projects. Then more testimonies started rolling in. In 1985, another medevac flight over the no-fly zone saw a giant hole as wide as a football field. Men in black suits later came to tell them they never saw it. 1990s, Navy flight crews reported silver discs zipping over the Antarctic mountains at impossible speeds all the time, told to never speak of it. In 2002, a film crew called Atlantis TV flies down to the South Pole to shoot a documentary about these holes. They allegedly film actual footage of a massive ancient city buried beneath the ice of Antarctica. Sound familiar? Then they went missing, of course. Navy rescuers found their camping equipment and even recovered their tapes. They played them to a few scientists and, according to rumors, showed spectacular ruins of a lost civilization and were told to never speak of it, including an ancient pyramid temple complex 2 miles beneath the ice with caverns bigger than Bermuda. The US military confiscated the tapes, Atlantis TV sued them, lost, and then went out of business. Then this happens. A Navy commander codenamed Spartan 1 who was stationed in Antarctica exposes all of his classified reports in an interview. In 2003, while flying on an extraction mission, his Navy SEAL team notices the top of a structure in the shape of a tall black octagon in the snow below. They land, walk up to it, and come up to a door over 20 feet high with strange markings of what looks like a star map and other strange glyphs. The star map looks like a pulsar map, a mapping technique used by NASA that shows the location of a sun relative to known pulsars. The Navy team enters the building and it's huge. A room about 10 acres across, which is like 7 football fields. The walls were all illuminated with a soft green glow, but no visible light source. And also on the walls were more carvings, similar to Egyptian or Mayan hieroglyphs, but also way different. There was a ramp inside that led deep beneath the ground where the rooms got even bigger. According to scientists that explored these sites, these lower levels were occupied by humanoids. Humanoid beings, far superior in strength and knowledge, and are the ones who actually created humans. Anunnaki, anyone? At least that's what Spartan 2, another US Marine whistleblower, claims, adding, and I quote, "Antarctica contains wonders beyond what most can comprehend. It has ties to space and technology beyond belief." There are even reports like this one that giant alien bodies have been spotted beside entrances to caverns. This whole story is part of Spartan 1 and 2's confession tapes, which, yes, sure, they might be making it up, but they sure ain't the only ones. Contractors like Eric Heckler have also exposed insane technology they're experimenting with down there, and that's another topic that'll blow your load. But you can actually fly to Antarctica if you wanted to, so why doesn't anyone just do that and examine these sites firsthand? Well, the area designated for tourist travel down there is limited, like extremely limited. Going there and declaring Antarctica a barren wasteland with nothing to see would be like going to Las Vegas and claiming all of America is just a giant desert. And remember, just a theory, but I'm sure Google will tell you all about how all of this is 100% confirmed fake and we should mindlessly shame anyone who dares question it.
There it is again, Antarctica, making a reappearance. I love it, so interesting. Obviously, we all know there's something dodgy going on down there, but the thing is, the people that just can't get on board with it, they go, yeah, there's something dodgy going on, and they don't want you to see nothing. You go, so you suggest, alright, could be this, and they're like, nah, it won't be that, can't be that. Just stop sitting on the fence. Either you believe NASA or you don't, you believe the American government or you don't. Just pick a side, get off the fence. Anyway, been a pleasure. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good jolly stuff, and I shall see you tomorrow. Ciao ciao.